Actually, I think that period I traumatized quite a lot.
You did I was not expecting it.
Whenever I sort of like talk to people, right, it did not make me feel better at all.
It was very clear that nothing was helping you.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Hot Pot, where we hop into different pots of spaces people find themselves in during life's transitions. I'm Joey.
I'm Q.
I'm Nick, and today's episode is quite an interesting one. Have you ever found yourself in a position, right, where your friend suddenly overshares during a conversation?
No, but I found myself in a situation where someone steals my line.
Like,
Yeah.
Just so smooth with it, eh?
she was supposed to be the one introducing the
but
topic.
it's okay.
No,
sharing
it's supposed to
is
be me.
caring. Sharing is caring.
It says Joey lah, but...
Stop gaslighting me right now.
Alright. Is this trauma dumping?
Why you suddenly bring up trauma dumping?
Oh my god, so random. This thought just fell out of the sky. Let's talk about trauma dumping then. If you guys are not familiar with the term trauma dumping, it is basically when someone shares trauma without permission in an inappropriate place and time with someone who may not have the means to process it. It's different from venting. So venting is releasing some of your pent-up emotions associated with trauma in a safe and controlled manner, but you're still being mindful of someone's emotional boundaries. So venting could be about work.
That bitch, huh?
My god, like...
And not
yeah.
about work bitches. I mean like general bitches.
Oh, but like venting, oh my god, the copier like it's not working again.
Yeah,
Then
yeah,
the
yeah.
coffee machine, like you're venting about work. People don't realize they're trauma dumping. They feel like they're like just giving you a piece of fun fact about their lives, but then actually it's trauma dumping. So like for example, especially with the younger generation, I think they slip it into their everyday conversations without realizing that they could be trauma dumping.
Yeah.
In a sense like, oh my god guys, like I went home last night late and my father just beat me, lor. Then you're like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. And how do we feel about that?
Could even be like you meeting someone for the first time, right? Or someone you're not very
Correct.
close to, then like, oh yeah, sorry, I'm a bit awkward because last time, like when I was young, that time my father touched me. On the opposite end of the spectrum, like how like must ask permission. Can I unload some trauma onto you?
Okay, so what I do with my friends, sometimes we would say, are you emotionally available for me?
Yeah.
And are you ready to listen
That's
to
very
me?
formal, eh?
But then that's how
Yeah.
people speak these days. We are okay with that.
It's like, do you have the capacity
Yeah.
for a conversation now, or can I just text you and you read later?
No, I think I know. I got a better way. So you say, right, like,
Like?
hey, I tell you something. Then after that you like, okay lah, never mind. Then after that the person will be like, hey, say. Then like, okay, you say I say
Oh my god, wait, but can I just say, right, I hate it when people do that, and I hate it when people say, hey Q, then they don't send the next message. Just send all at once. Why must you say my name first?
This is very secondary school.
No, so then I make you want
No,
to
you
know.
must like,
Oh my god, reverse
Actually, I need
psychology.
to-
Yeah. So
something.
then through that process, I gain your consent.
but this consent is like baited.
Then you don't want to know, don't know.
He damn childish.
So
ah.
they think-
Yeah.
Actually, I got something very juicy, but never mind.
Oh my Wait, but first of all, we gotta say that we're not trying to invalidate anyone's trauma.
Not at all.
Yeah.
No.
We're just using this as an example to show how wide a conversation
Yeah.
will go.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's take it back a little bit in our friendships, right? What kind of roles do y'all usually play? Are you like the friend that people go to for advice?
I feel like people wouldn't go to you, right?
No, people always come to me.
No, but for like finance advice,
People
yes.
come to me, okay, for adulting things.
Yes.
And then they always come to me to like tell me secrets. But now recently less.
Who told you secrets?
Recently less and less. The fact that y'all don't know means that I did a very good job in keeping those secrets.
I mean, I've only met you like
Hey, we
1
know each
year
other,
ago.
like,
1 year only.
oh God, it's only been 1 year.
Yeah.
feels like a lifetime. Huh?
Hey, relax, guys.
Hey.
One lifetime.
Wow.
Okay, I feel like I'm definitely not the warm and loving one. I don't like to tell my friends like, oh, you'll get through it, things will get better. I will tell them straight that, are you ready to hear the truth? If you're not, then I'm just gonna shut up.
Yeah, like, I think maybe it also depends on like what the person needs at that point of time. Because some people they need that emotional support first. Then after that they need like the logical, like what's the
Yeah.
next steps.
I think
Yeah.
you're like the anchor friend, but you're not the consoling like.
Yeah,
No,
I think
he's
I cannot
definitely not.
console.
You are the consoling friend.
Yeah, I'll be the one like if people need to cry, then we can cry about it.
She's definitely the
together.
ride or die.
I find that I have never seeked to be consoled in my life.
He has. He
I have, ah.
did.
Is it? I have?
Exposed. I don't know.
Oh,
Really.
no,
I don't know.
No, I got lah.
Years ago. We were in our mid-20s.
Mid-20s.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that period I trauma dumped quite a lot.
You did I was not expecting it.
I think that was like a lifetime of trauma dumping, right? From like age 0 to 25, right? Then that's enough.
Accumulated.
I know the aura points thing over already, outdated already.
Yeah.
But last time, that period, you really negative.
Yeah.
Don't know, I think 10,000 aura for being quite like,
Yeah. I think that, that period was quite shack.
He didn't look good lah.
Whoa!
No, as in I felt bad for you, but then
Yeah.
I really feel like, wow, that was truly a different side
Yeah,
of Nick that
it was,
no one has ever seen. Okay, I feel like people would see her as someone who would listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always the unagony. Then I feel like I know a little bit too much about a lot of different people that I don't even know. Then sometimes I meet them and I know what they've done to people, but they think I've never... Like, this is our first meeting.
Then you got trauma dump on people before?
I think yes. But I think my trauma dumping is... They open the door, then I tell, then they, oh, actually this door... Like,
much,
they said they're ready for it. I said, okay, sure. It's not... I will never, without consent, trauma dump. But I don't think people realize that, like, how deep some of the trauma can get.
Then what kind of friend are you?
I feel like I'm a little bit of everything friend. Like, honestly, if you need the funny friend, I'm there for you. If you need the nonsense friend, I'm there for you. If you need the let's craft a very serious email so we can get your refund back, I can be that friend for you.
But what if that person doesn't tell you what exactly they need? So do you just gauge and
Yeah,
read
I
the room?
can morph. But you know, sometimes, like, when you have the heart-to-heart sessions after a dinner, everyone's just, like, chilling. Then you can feel the literal mood shift when someone goes, actually, guys, I kind of need to tell you something.
Yeah.
Then in your head, you're like, okay, this is going somewhere deep. Let's prepare for it.
You have to look at their faces also. If they say, guys, I got something to tell you, and then there's a smirk, right?
Yeah.
Means they're dating someone.
Either that or like something very juicy, right?
But sometimes I feel like that line excites me.
I got something to tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Excited. I'm like, bring out the wine.
I don't know why you need
wine.
consent. Just trauma dump on me. So it's so exciting.
As in, it cannot come out of nowhere. Why do you think we trauma dump?
No outlet. I think even back then when I was like sharing what was affecting me, I told multiple people, but even then it didn't really heal me or it didn't make me feel any better. So the trauma dumping happens when nothing is working out. Like nothing is working out for you to move on from this. Or maybe I think some people want the fact that others would care for them. Like once you tell multiple people, then a lot of people know your issues, right? Just so that everyone can be a support system.
Have you all been in a situation where someone you barely know suddenly just trauma dumps on you and you just feel like, whoa, I don't feel like I'm that person that needs to hear this because I cannot be there for you. Like, we have not established that kind of relationship yet.
Actually, I feel like I have come across this quite a lot of times. People just start telling me a lot of things about their family and the issues that they are going through, like, oh, their father is sick, or like a parent or grandparent got dementia, that kind of thing lah. I always like ask to find out more.
You kepo.
Kepo, I think, is part of it. But like, if I
Hey, we love a self-aware kid.
if I try to really break it down, right, I think it's because like all these like life scenarios, right, to me is quite interesting. You are getting like a spectator view to other people's trauma because these are scenarios that you might find yourself in the future. Then at least now you are a bit more like prepped rather than like, oh, I'm like encountering this situation. It's the first time I'm dealing with it. Yeah. So actually it might not necessarily be a bad thing also.
Okay, also I feel like it's your capacity. We might be people that people feel safe and comfortable with, right? But we also have our days where we are just energetically so low. I don't know, maybe they're having a bad day, then they want to dump more and you're just like, oh my god, I have nothing more.
I think if I don't like you, I don't want you to trauma dump on me.
That's fair.
No, that's normal.
That's very fair.
Yeah, like I try to picture someone I don't like doing this, right? Then I'm like, I'm not going to solve your problem for you because I don't like you.
No, but even if you, let's say, are fond of this person,
Then I okay.
but you're not close. Example, a guest that was on THP maybe that we quite like.
I think I'm okay.
Also, it doesn't matter how close you are.
As long as I like you as a person.
Oh,
I think I'm okay for you to trauma dump
I
on
feel
me.
like there needs to be time. If let's say you only know you have 15 minutes more, and then this person starts telling you a story that will need at least like half an hour.
Like, oh my god, sorry, I need to do my lashes
And then
now.
you're just like, okay, and like you're like, can we get to the root of the issue? Why are you telling me this? What can I do? If you just want to tell someone, like you just need to vocalize it with someone, why me and why now? I think there definitely is a time and place. Like imagine meeting your friend at a bus stop. And then they start trauma dumping on you because you ask how's your life been, and then your bus is approaching already.
Then say I gotta
just
go.
say I
ah.
gotta go.
But
I okay
they're
actually.
in the middle of something very...
No, just boundaries. It's all about
I
saying.
gotta go means I gotta go.
We,
You
how
will
about
miss your
we?
bus, ah.
Yeah, like how about we chat later on at night if you wanna call me?
Yeah, hey, text me,
Sure.
man. Yeah, catch up
but
soon.
you don't want, then how?
I put D&D oh. My
What's
phone.
that? Play Dungeons and Dragons.
Do not disturb.
Do not disturb lah, Dungeons and Dragons.
I think...
Shut up, yeah. Question part. Okay, first question. If you could buy happiness, how much do you think it should be priced at? $50,000?
Huh?
That's
I think
very
1.5
little.
mil.
Take it or leave it.
Leave it.
1.5 mil, not bad.
1.5 mil feels like a happiness that
No,
would be...
I just want it to be more achievable for people.
Would you rather listen to every song on 2 times speed or on 0.5 speed, 2 times speed? I think 0.5 I will lose my mind.
Sing a Taylor Swift song in 2 times speed now. Go. That sounds like 3 times.
a bit too fast.
Would you rather be around couples who constantly fight or constantly display excessive PDA?
Oh,
constantly
good question.
fight.
Fight. Confirm he want
Constantly
the
fight.
tea.
And then he was like, hey guys, just now.
Yeah.
Just now, guys, just now I saw.
Oh my god, can I just say constant PDA is so uncomfortable, but it's like a train wreck. Like you cannot stop looking at it.
I've received DMs from strangers dumping their struggles to me before. And it's like paragraphs after paragraphs. And when I have the emotional capacity, I would reply.
Oh, how nice.
And
of you.
I would and I would try my best to give an advice. Otherwise, I would refer them to, like maybe clinics or therapy, places that provides therapy lah. And then I'll set my boundaries that I don't think I'm the right person to actually guide you through this struggle. I sometimes feel like maybe what if I'm the last person that they're reaching out to?
Yeah.
Or if they have no one else to talk to.
Okay, so then I think that is where the trauma dumping becomes not quite okay.
Yeah.
Correct.
That is a very good example of now like this person is putting the burden on you
Yeah.
for like their well-being.
Yeah. No, I've literally been put in this spot before where, like this person from our school, like nobody wanted to hear him out because he wasn't the easiest classmate, to be very honest. He one day called me crying and said like, I really need to talk to someone. I really wanted to say no because I needed to draw that boundary because at that point he was really harassing me with messages every day. And I'll be like, I'm at work. I can't have this conversation with you. You cannot give me multiple missed calls. I don't even know when your birthday is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we're not close friends. But I decided, okay, I have a gig. Like it's nearby. I said if you want to meet to talk, we can meet after my gig, right? So we met up. Halfway through, the fella take out iPad.
Sell insurance to you.
He started telling me about his, like, how he's an insurance agent.
No.
Oh.
But
What the hell?
it was like a 2 birds with one stone thing because he really was in a very dark place. And in that moment, I'm like,
It's like
I don't know what to do. I don't know
Wow.
what you want me to do. It was really one of those moments where I felt like my kindness is being taken advantage of.
for sure.
But also, we are both quite vocal about mental well-being and therapy and mental health. When you are vocal about these things online, people kind of take that as, this person must be a safe space.
Correct.
So we receive a lot of messages like that. But I've gotten messages where this person sends me paragraph on paragraph on paragraph. And I didn't know that when you read requests, they can see that you've read it. And this person sends another message saying, I can see that you've read it. Can you reply me? And to the point where when I'm in a live stream, right, they'll come in and be like, I sent you a DM and I know you read it. Can you please reply me? Part of me is like, this is crossing the line. But the other part of me is, this person really must have no one else to talk to.
Yeah.
And the reply could make a big difference.
At some point, you need to draw the line that like, hey, I'm not responsible for your emotional,
Yeah.
physical, mental well-being. Cause like, this is the way the world works lah.
Yeah.
I have a friend that actually kind of cut off another person because that person was crossing the boundaries. And even though she told her friend multiple times that she really don't have the capacity to be that person, the other person was just like offloading to her and expecting her to be the one that solves her problem.
Yeah.
Or be the one that saves her. Yeah. So I think if it reaches that point, unfortunately, you have to be the one that's cutting off the friendship lah.
Do you think it's more prevalent in like say female friend groups versus male friend groups? Because I realized that with my guy friends, like rarely.
So funnily enough, I get messages from a lot of guys who
Maybe because they in their male friend groups they don't have the safe space.
Yeah.
I think so. The mental health sources always say reach out to
reach
someone,
out.
reach out. But when they do reach out and the people that they feel safe with do not have the capacity, they are also stuck.
But do you think that like some of it is like these guys shooting their shot?
No lah.
I
You think dating has reached that stage? That's
Eh.
terrible.
there are some people who use this as an excuse to
To get close to you,
to
mah.
get emotionally
Yeah.
close and intimate with you, and then they're like, see, actually we have such a good time together. Like,
That would scar me.
yeah.
That would really that would cause trauma on
That's
me.
no.
And I'll come to you guys
No,
and
it's
like,
cause like
guys,
they come to you with like I open up to you, so why don't you open up to me also?
wow, would that work on me?
Are you at that point?
Is the bar that low?
Oh man. Actually, another sign of a trauma dumping conversation, right, is when you feel uncomfortable hearing details and you don't know how to respond. That's usually also an identifying factor of like your friendship just not being at that level yet, or your relationship with that person not being at that level of intimacy.
Actually, yeah, then I think as the trauma dumper, you also need to have like the sensitivity to like know what is your friends, the trauma dumpies, like what they are going through in their life lah. For example, if say someone just lost a parent, right? And then maybe now your own mom is sick. Then you wouldn't, I feel like it's a bit weird to trauma dump
Correct.
like you and
The
your mom's
similar-
sickness and things like that on like your friend who just lost a parent.
I feel like because of TikTok, people have had a new avenue of
Expressing.
like to process their emotions.
Because this influencer like relatable, you know.
Yeah, or just everyday people, they're like, oh my god, guys, I just really need to tell you what happened today, blah, blah, blah. And people are like, oh my god, this happened to me too. Because they can put like trigger warning trauma dump and people will want to scroll anyway because they want to read about it, right?
No, because then you have the choice to swipe away, mah.
Correct.
Yeah.
And the people who comment could be from anywhere around the world. They don't need to know who you are. They don't need to know context, but they can identify with your story and then they comment and you feel less alone. And just like that, you don't need to tell someone in
Yeah.
person. It's quite amazing, right? The internet actually.
I wouldn't dare to do that.
Maybe not with
I
your
would
face
feel
attached to it.
very vulnerable and exposed.
Yeah, actually, now when I think back, because just now Hugh mentioned like my dark days, right? Like when I think
Sorry that I brought
the
back
dark
the
ages,
past.
whenever I sort of like talk to people, right, it did not make me feel better at all.
Yeah. No, it was very clear that nothing was helping you.
Talking to people and sharing my feelings like did nothing for me. So for the rest of my life, I shall not.
Oh my god, that's why he's like
I'm
that.
gonna stop you right there,
Shit,
right?
revelation.
And say that you might not know it, but trauma dumping or the act of sharing an experience with a friend, right? The goal is not to very obviously and tangibly remove the weight, but more so you are verbalizing it to process. You need time to adjust and process that, okay, this is happening and this is how I feel. And sometimes as you recount the story, right, you can say the same story to 5 people and have a different revelation yourself as you're telling it.
I feel like if you didn't voice it out to all of us, right, you would implode. You go mad eh.
He got the whooshy, everything.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like one day I just woke up and then I was like, I think I am done being sad.
Correct. I remember that week.
Yeah.
I remember that week. You're just like, okay, I need to move on with my life.
Yeah.
He just snapped out of it one
Then
day.
I was born again. Trauma dumping, I feel like if you are doing it, if you are a dumper, you need to be very clear what is the objective. When people are like confiding their sorrows to me, right, then they dig my personal life into their thing as though like, we are the same.
I think it's the feeling of like, oh my god, same.
Yeah.
But then
But hey, no, not same.
Different,
Not
In
same,
a-
bro. Like for example, if say I have a troubled relationship with my parents, then if someone is trauma dumping about their relationship with their parents.
They want to one up.
Then they come and just like you will understand what, right? Because you also like, you know,
Oh my god,
don't get along with
the
your
worst
folks.
is right, they'll say things like, that's not bad what? You know, in my case,
Yeah.
my
The one
parents did
upping
this to me.
is like, it's not a competition.
Yeah. Like you have it easy.
Yeah, so
Don't invalidate it.
Yeah.
because they are hurting and feeling all this negativity, I just want the world to hurt with me.
Oh yeah,
You know?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that's also something that like we need to be mindful of, that like when people start offloading onto you, you don't get dragged into that
Yeah.
lah.
On
Yeah.
the flip side, do you guys have friends who are constantly trying to get you to trauma dump?
For what?
So I have a friend be like,
For content?
they will literally like, how are you? Really? Then it's like, I'm fine. Actually, like I'm fine. They're like, no, honestly, you can tell me.
Yeah.
Then you're like, I'm okay.
Like literally you're having the best day of your life and
Yeah.
someone's like, how
now,
are you?
and then they are like, no, you shouldn't be afraid of your demons. We all have demons. Tell me. Then you're like, I'm gonna get angry, right? Because you are forcing me to
Be angry.
Like I'm very happy, you know. But now I'm not happy anymore because of you.
and why do you think that is so?
Oh my god, I cannot.
my
Like not
gosh.
everything is
It's a therapy session. And then like you are
Yeah.
not my therapist in an era where like, you know, it is more normalized to be like connected to your mental and emotional self. Then I feel like people think it's okay to just air like
Their grievances
their
lah.
grievances and like
It's relatable, ma.
yeah,
like you're
because-
human, what? Like
because I'm connecting with my emotions so much better now. Like come, you also.
honestly, I think nothing wrong with that. It's just that choose the time and the place.
Yeah lah,
for
it can be
It's
quite
not-
like condescending and like I'm like why I don't want, you know.
Yeah.
Also, I think it's great that we're having so many conversations about mental health, but like we don't need to go into details with people we do not feel safe with. Like these are still private matters, and I think it's okay for you to be unsure of how you're feeling. I think there's a lot of pressure on like, so how do you feel about it? That's a very loaded question actually, because that requires a lot of processing, and if that person hasn't processed it right, to ask them that can make them spiral.
I think it's also like the language that you use lah. Like for
Yeah.
example, if you tell me something and then I'm like, wow, then how you can don't say if you don't want to say. As compared to, oh, but how does that make you feel? It's very like
Yeah.
a different tone and like direction that you are
Yeah.
steering the conversation.
But I wouldn't mind the letter also. Because I think it really depends on the stage of grief that I'm in. If like I'm in stage 1, haven't processed yet, I'm in shock or whatever, right? Someone asking me how does that make you feel, it's like I'm not ready for that. But
Correct.
once I maybe hint that I think I've kind of seen the other side of the story, or like 看开 already, you know. Then maybe someone can ask. 看开 means
Acceptance.
a little
I think
bit.
come to terms.
Yeah.
Yeah, acceptance.
coming to
Yeah.
terms with
Yeah,
something.
so if someone asked me that, then it wouldn't be as jarring or awkward to answer. But it's okay to say you don't know. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how I'm feeling.
I don't know yet.
I'm still
And-
processing. Just say that. And then your friends will get it.
Yeah, don't be the person be like, okay, let's figure it out.
Some
time
people
to
don't
figure it
want.
out now.
Some people don't want to solve their problems immediately.
So this reminds me of the time where I was at my birthday celebration at a friend's house. And my partner and I at the time had a little bit of a disagreement. It wasn't a big disagreement, but I know that if I open the can of worms now, the day will be ruined. And plus, it's my birthday. So I don't want this day to be affected. So I just decided, okay, let's just take 5 minutes. And suddenly my friend comes over and says, okay, I can see you guys are dealing with something. Let's talk it out now. And I'm like, whoa, like, we're fine. Like, I don't want to talk about it now. And, you know, this person's like, no, you guys are clearly going through something. You shouldn't be hiding your emotions, you know. Like, you should be able to talk about your feelings with your partner. And in front of everyone, this person was trying to become a counselor with zero consent. I know it came from good, but maybe there's no trauma to be dumped.
Yeah.
And don't assume that people are struggling with the dumping of their trauma also.
Yeah, and like who are you to like
To
what
be the-
qualifications do you
Right.
have?
I feel like also with the conversations that we have now about how, like, you know, talk about it. Not everyone needs or wants to talk about it also.
And like not with you.
Yeah.
Is it any different for your partner to trauma dump on you versus your friends?
There is that expectation that through sickness and health and thick and thin, you should be there always. But we are human beings with bandwidth and capacities. you know, the TV shows always paint it where like someone got a promotion and someone is having the worst day. I think this is a pretty accurate depiction because you also don't want to overshadow your partner's news. It is a sacrifice that is made to help your partner, right?
Honestly, I'm very curious. In a relationship, there's such a thing called trauma dumping.
If your partner doesn't trauma dump or share their feelings with you, you sad or not?
Yes.
The dynamic is flipped, right? Whereas like the rest of the world must ask for consent, but you better trauma dump on me. If not, like
I would
why?
feel very
Why?
sad, right, if this person chose to share with someone else instead of
Divorce!
me. Maybe not that to that point lah.
No, if I find out Charlie's like pouring his heart out to somebody else and not me, I'm calling the lawyer.
No, but it's more like, why do you not see me as that
safe
person?
space.
The safest space.
Yeah.
That would hurt me.
Like sometimes I know I have some things that are bothering me that if I tell Charlie, right, I will end up burdening him because he don't know what to say and he cannot relate to it, especially if it's like a girl-related issue, right? He'll know I'm upset about it, but I will not go into specifics and dive deep with him because it does not help me or help him. But at least he's aware. Your partner does not need to be the person that you tell like all the specifics to all the time. It depends.
And I think maybe the difference here is your partner is supposed to go through life with you. Whereas your friends are like supporting characters that appears once in a while.
But then what you just said is not consistent with what you said about Charlie.
What do you mean?
So if Charlie does the same, like he shares specifics with like his friends.
Okay, no. I'm saying in the context where Charlie actually doesn't really like have a lot to process in general. This is something we've realized. But if I find out that he's been feeling a lot just with other people and not me at all, I'll be like, why am I not a safe space then?
Okay, I think a lot of girls would hope that their partners are their best friend. Like, you should be their best friend, ma. Then if you don't tell me, then who are you telling to?
Yeah.
That's why it hurts.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about trauma dumping and being the dumper. How do you guys think we should respond to trauma dumping in general?
I think if you're the dumper, always ask for consent. Always ask whether that person has the emotional capacity or whether they are emotionally available to listen to what you're going through. If they're not, then respect their boundaries. Yeah.
I think like just to add on to that also, as a dumper, you should have the mindfulness to like realize that by trauma dumping on someone, you are inadvertently placing a burden on them.
On the flip side of that, I think because we are stressed out by burdening our friends, sometimes we might hold on to a lot of things and actually your friends might want to know what's going on with you, like because they care about you. And a lot of times we find like, oh, you know, I didn't want to say that because I know you're going through a lot, so you're very stressed out. And more often than not, your friends are actually okay and they want to know, they want to be clued into your life, but maybe not right at that very moment. So it could be like hey guys, I'm just putting this here. You guys can reply me whenever you can, but I just really needed to get this out of my chest. Like tell your close circle of friends, but you know, maybe don't expect an immediate response or an immediate answer or a solution. Sometimes they don't have the answers also, but just having that listening ear and knowing that there's a safe space can really help you.
Thanks so much for watching this episode of The Hot Pot. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Me Listen.
And subscribe to us if you haven't already.
And of course, comment down below as well if you have any stories that you'd like to share with us. But please remember to also keep this a safe and respectful space for everyone.
And we'll see you on the next episode. Bye!
Bye-bye. I feel like that experience, right, has shaped how I have lived my life until now. Where I'm like, hey, actually lah.
Actually lah.
Stop, I was trying to ignore it.
So cute. No, but very cute.
Okay.
Actually lah.